voyeuristic vixen. I can't get over it. Most requested launch ever. Liaison. Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin Williams. I'm an esthetician, lash technician, microblading technician, and makeup artist. I also have a YouTube channel here called Everything Beautiful. I upload every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Product reviews, product recommendations, wear tests, swatches, dupes videos, challenges, hauls, tutorials, and more. And then I have my Fab in 5 series, which is Saturday's videos, which is basically everything I just talked about, but in 5 minutes or less, the point, quick, simple videos. And I actually have this Thursday coming up my first episode of season 2 of my series called Get Ready With Me in TV. This is a series I started a couple months ago. So in this series, I base each season of my series on a different season of a current TV show that is on air at the time. So for example, in my first season, I was basing it off the final season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. If you are a subscriber or a regular viewer, you maybe have seen the first few episodes of that season, which I did cut short. That season of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians was just not as interesting as I would have liked it to be. I just don't think it was the right show. I've said this a couple times on my channel, and I also announced it on my Instagram channel that I was going to be kind of just stopping and focusing on my normal product reviews. But I did a poll over on Instagram, and you guys wanted to see the new Bachelorette season that is actually starting tonight. So if you are a fan of the Bachelorette, I will remind you that tonight the season premiere airs. This is the season that Katie is the Bachelorette. And make sure you watch it before Thursday, because I will be posting my first episode of my Get Ready With Me in TV, where I come here, I do my makeup, and I talk about the episode, I review the episode, I go over what happened, give my opinions on what happened, the drama, maybe talk about the contestants and what happened in the episode. But also, I will be using something within the episode to inspire my look for Thursday, and it is your job to guess what that is. It could be maybe Katie's dress, it could be a makeup look, it could be maybe even a pattern of a tie or a suit, it could be decor. So it will be a weekly video. The Bachelorette airs on Mondays, so it gives me enough time to record, edit, and post. I will be posting it every Thursday. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I encourage you guys to hit the subscribe button below and join the little family over here. Thank you so much for all of you that do, and thanks again for watching. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Pat McGrath Divine Rose collection. I did not get every little thing in the collection because she's expensive. I got the Venus in Fleur Luxe Quad, which is the Voyeuristic Vixen. This is another one of her eyeshadow quads. And then I also got one of her Divine blushes. So Pat McGrath recently just launched this the Divine Blush collection, which does include blush. I believe these are her very first blushes. And so I'm super excited to be testing this one today. I also got one of the lipsticks within the collection. It is a matte trance lipstick, and I just got an extra too from the Divine Rose collection just because I absolutely love her lipsticks. So first, what we're gonna do is the eyes. As you can see, I've done the majority of my face makeup. I'm gonna go ahead and prep my eyes with MAC Paint Pot. Okay, so we're prepped and we are primed. We're ready to roll. So this is the, I don't even know if I'm saying this right, Voyeuristic Vixen eyeshadow quad. As you can see, it looks absolutely stunning. Her metallics, her glitter shades, her duochromes, they are out of this world. Her mattes are also really incredible. It does only come with one matte. That is one thing with these quads, is they don't always come with a good selection of like mattes. A lot of the time they come with one or two, which for a quad, that's good. But these are the type of products that you most likely are going to need something else to go off of if you want to create a full look. Probably could create a full look with this one matte. You could probably blend it out and, still soften it. But I would like to have a good transition shade, as I think looking at this, I kind of want to do a halo eye with this like bright glitter in the center. I think think it would look so stunning. So I am just gonna go grab another one of the Pat McGrath palettes with a lighter transition shade just to create a really full look. So that is the one thing that I would say about this, is if you were looking for a eyeshadow palette that will give you everything you need for a whole entire look, I don't necessarily think that this does. So I went and grabbed all the Pat McGrath palettes I have. I do have to say, the one complaint I would say about Pat McGrath is I wish that she would include more like soft matte shades, but you could just go off of another palette, grab like a soft brown or whatever kind of soft transition shade you're looking for, and then go off of these quads. I personally think they're just some of the best eyeshadows I've ever played with, but that is the one complaint I will say. When you look at this one, which is the Divine Rose 7, this is one that does give you a little bit more of like softer shades. This is a cooler toned palette. Another one that does have some softer shades is this one, which is the Divine Rose 8, which is one of my personal faves. There's this like nice light peachy shade, which I think is what I'm gonna go off of today. And then there's this quad, which actually this quad here, I absolutely fell in love with this. This is the Divine Rose Eternal Eden quad. And this one had quite a few, like both mattes were pretty light, which I really enjoyed. And I think if you already have some Pat McGrath shadows, even though this quad doesn't necessarily have a light matte, only has one matte, you could go off of that. If you don't have any other eyeshadow or any lighter shades that you could go off of to use with this, you can use your bronzer. So if you're looking for a nice soft brown to help blend out you can use your bronzer, but I just want to put that out there. So I'm going to actually go off of this pink shade here, this like peachy pink shade. I'm going to do that in the crease for a transition, and then we'll go ahead and use this palette. So I'm just going to pop this. I'm using the Smashbox shadow blending brush. I love this brush for the crease. So I'm just going to really diffuse it because we're using this shade specifically for that transition. Okay, so now that we've done that, I will put this away and we're gonna slowly go off of the quad now. So now what we're gonna do is take a little bit more of a precise brush. I want kind of like a flat shader just to kind of press it in, and then we'll blend it. So I'm gonna go into this matte shade, which is After Dusk, the only matte shade in here. And I'm just going to start by pressing it in here. I don't want to bring it in to the inner corner at all. I'm just kind of creating that line a little bit. And then once I have that, I'm going to start to press it onto the lid as well and kind of build it up. I want like a nice sultry halo eye. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing on the outer half, because again, I'm going to do a halo eye. And we're just starting by placing the product, so that's why I'm just doing like a stamping motion. We're going to leave the center open, so we don't need to bother placing it there. So now that we have it placed, I'm going to take the shadow blending brush and just start to buff along those edges really lightly on the inner corner, because I don't want it to be, you know, blended out too much. Look how it just automatically does it. These shadows are just so incredible. I'm gonna go along there so there's no harsh edges. And then we can build it back up, but first we kind of just want to get it blended in. Stunning. I really, really like that. Okay, I'm gonna take more on this brush and build it a little bit more, just on the lower, like kind of in the lid more, and a little bit into the crease, but you don't want to bring it up too high. Just wanted it a little bit more pigmented than that. Wow, look at how beautifully that blended out. And I do really like how that peachier shade helped transition it. I do think that having a transition shade really does help. First, actually, what I'm going to do is swatch these metallics, because I need to just figure out what I want to do. So the first shade I'm swatching, which actually is quite like, I don't know if you've ever swatched a metallic, and it really is, it's not thick, but you do pick up a lot of product. You can see what I mean there. So you don't need to really swirl your finger in there. You just kind of need to like tap. Look at that shade. That's going to be my inner corner for sure. So that's more of like a creamy metallic, whereas the other two look like they're going to be more glittery. It's nice that they're not all glittery though, because I do like to have a nice smooth metallic, especially for inner corners and brow bone. So that's stunning, and that's Moonlight Liaison. Then we have this shade here, which is the one that I wanted to pop in the center. And this is a little bit more of like a glittery shade, and it does look a little bit more of like a duochrome. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm like melting over these shades. These are some of the most stunning eyeshadows I've ever seen. And like I say this every time with Pat McGrath. I'm the same with Natasha Denona. Pat McGrath's metallics, there's just something about them that make me like, they're so good. That one was called Rose Fire Nectar. This is definitely what we're going to pop in the center there, but let's just swatch this one as well. Ooh, this feels really, ooh, that's darker than I thought it would be. When you look at it in the pan, it looks much lighter. This is called Twilight Bronze. So this one is next to this matte here. Sorry, just ignore this part right here, but it's this shade right there. It's darker than I thought, which is actually kind of nice. And it is actually less glittery than I thought. It's like a nice creamy metallic. It feels a little creamier, a little less glittery, but you do see kind of those glitter flecks within the metallic. So you kind of get all three finishes. I think we're going to go with this one here. Let's go ahead and pick it up on my finger. I can't get over it. Okay, so we're getting some fallout, so just be careful. You might be better off with a brush and wetting it, which is my favorite thing to do because then it prevents fallout. You might not necessarily prevent it completely, but it's gonna help. Look at that. Okay, I'm just gonna dust that off. Ooh, it's sticking. That shade does actually have quite a bit of fallout, so really be careful with that one. Okay, let's see if I can fix this. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that really sticks. Like, it's not gonna come off. So we have got some permanent fallout from that, which I typically don't have from these, but that shade's more glittery, so you know how glitter is. Once glitter's there, she's not going anywhere. So I'm gonna try to be more careful now. I'm gonna take this flat brush and I am gonna wet it. So by wetting it, it's going to help keep things in place. It's gonna stick to the brush and then hopefully stick to the eye. So I'm gonna use my MAC Fix Plus, stick it on there, and then let's see, does that prevent fallout? I don't think it's falling out at all. If it is, then it's super minimal. So if you use it on a brush and wet it, it's gonna be your best bet. So I'm gonna bring it up to the crease and then kind of just start to pat along the edges to soften it. So it doesn't look like there's like a strip. I want it to kind of blend into the matte. We're gonna use this bronze shade and I'm gonna take this shade right here, just a little bit on the tip, wet it. I'm gonna press it like along this edge. Hopefully that will help it transition. Ooh, that's nice. I'm just reinforcing that brown. Blend out one last time. Stunning. So let's do the lower lash line and then I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up this eye off camera so that we're not here for 3 million years. I'm gonna take a pencil brush in with this brown, the matte brown, tap off excess, smudge it along there and all the way across. I kind of, just so that we're matching, want to go into this peachy shade from the Divine Rose 8, sorry. And I'm just gonna do that to kind of soften that so that it's matching the upper. So I'm gonna use that shade to kind of buff the edges and diffuse it out a little bit. So now I'm gonna take this glitter shade on the end of this brush and make sure I wet it so we don't make more of a mess. And apply it in the center at the lower lash line so we're matchy-matchy. I think that's good, guys. Like, that looks so cute. Oh, I love it. Man, I got wicked fallout though. That sucks. But let's see how much fallout I get on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same on this side off camera. And I'll come back and I'll show you what we're looking like down here and see if wetting the brush really does help. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've basically finished up this look. I'm just doing the glitter on the lower lash line and I didn't use my finger at all on this side. I used my brush and I wet it every time I applied the glitter and no fallout. So it really does help. I really recommend using like a flat brush. You can use one like this. This is the Sigma Large Shader, which is an E. I'm gonna link it below because it's scratched out what number it is. I think it's either an E60 or an E80, but I could be wrong. So I'll link it down below and then wet it. You can use any setting spray at all. So as you can see, everything blended out beautifully. The shades are really, really stunning. Like this shade here is really just what like makes me fall in love with this palette. I really like this bronze shade as well for those of you that maybe don't want anything like super in your face. It's nice and bright, but it's not like as bright as the other ones. And then now let's go in with the inner corner. So I'm gonna pick up this shade right here. And because I'm extra like that, I am gonna wet this one as well, but also because I don't want any more fallout. fallout. This shade is stunning as well. I'm actually gonna use this shade as my face highlight as well. Just kind of blend that edge there so the inner corner highlight blends in to everything. And I'm just gonna go ahead and finish using the products, and then I'll finish up my eyes after. So let's do blush. We have the Divine blush, which is a part of the Divine Blush collection, and this is one of like the newest products she's put out. It is a brand new formula, her first blush formula. Typical packaging, which as you can see, just her packaging is so stunning, so luxe. You get a mirror in the blush as well, which is nice. This is the actual blush. Absolutely beautiful. That rose design in the blush. I believe there are 9 shades in this collection. It is Pat McGrath's most requested launch ever. It creates a feather light, long wearing rush of couture color in a demi matte and satin finish. So there's both finishes. I got the matte because I prefer matte blush. It has an ultra fine powder pigment to deliver sensuously soft, brilliant blendable application. All 9 shades build effortlessly, ensuring a wondrous wash of customizable color tailored to every skin tone and type. Embossed with radiant rose and sublime sun rays, this new classic is the answer to the eternal question, who makes you blush? It's just basically perfection. So let's see. Oh, there's a little button. Good to know, because I just was having trouble opening it. There's like a little button here. Here you press it, and let's see what we get. Ooh. That's nice. The texture of this actually reminds me of the Clinique Cheek Pop blushes, which are my one of my absolute favorite blushes. They're just like virtually powderless. They almost look like they're cream blush, but they're powder. They're so good, and this actually has a very similar texture to it. That is so pretty. So it's definitely pigmented, as you can see. It's easily buildable. It's easily blendable. I would say it's a really nice blush. I would say it's worth the money. If you have the money and you want to try it, it's good quality. Like, so far so good. I have no complaints. It looks really good. I'll let you guys know in the description below. If it, fades or anything, I'll write in the description below how it wears. It just looks very skin-like and like a part of the makeup, not powdery, not patchy. It's really nice. I like it. And I love that shade. I forgot to mention, this is the shade Divine Rose, but it comes in 9 different shades, some very warm tone shades, some very cool tone shades, some lighter shades, some more bold. This is kind of smack dab in the center. It is a little bit darker than some of the options they have. So if this is too dark for you, there are lighter options. I love it. Oh, I love it. Yeah, like there's no complaints. Just as good as some of my favorites upon first impression. So I definitely recommend this blush so far. Again, check out the description below. I'm going to write any notes that I may have about it after wearing it for the full day. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I am going to go in to this quad here that I just used today. And I'm going to take this shade right here, which is Moonlight Liaison. And it is like really nice and bright. Why not use it as a highlight? See, now this collection did also come with a highlight. It came with some new lipsticks, which I have one of the shades today, so I'm going to be testing that in just a minute. But it did come with a specific highlight. I know they're supposed to be really good. They're just very expensive. And why not use this as a highlight? Wowza. And it's going on beautifully. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do the lipstick. So I did get 2. The one is from the Divine Rose collection, and I got the shade Divine Rose. So this one, in case you're interested, I will swatch it for you guys. Beautiful packaging, the typical packaging, and both are the matte trance. I love, love, love the matte trance lipsticks. They're probably my favorite. One thing I'm going to put out there is, and let me know in the comments below if you've had this experience as well. I absolutely love Pat McGrath's lipsticks. I really like the matte trance and the Blitz trance formulas. Those are my 2 favorites, especially the Luxe Trance. This is actually why it's not my favorite. But even with the matte trance, sometimes when I put gloss over top, it bleeds really, really bad. Like, I can't put gloss on these lipsticks. So that's one thing I'll say is they're beautiful, but I don't recommend putting gloss on top. So if you like a glossy lip, I really don't recommend the matte trance. I just have had the worst experience with applying gloss over top of these, but I just love them so much. They give the most beautiful creamy matte finish, and they are beautiful and long wearing, but just when I put gloss on on top, they just bleed really bad. But yeah, I really like the formula other than that. This is the from the Divine Rose collection, which this shade is the shade called Divine Rose. And as you can see, it's a nice, beautiful rosy shade. The shade we're going to be using today is from the Divine Blush collection. This new packaging is probably some of my favorite. It's this nice like lilac purple shade, and it has those beautiful flowers and the diamonds. And the shade I got from this collection is called Dream Lover, and I'm going to place it beside the Divine Rose in case you maybe already have it or would like a comparison. So Dream Lover is a little bit less rosy and it has a little bit more of like a warmer, peachier undertone. Dream Lover is right here, and this one is the Divine Rose. They're actually quite similar, just one's a little more warm toned and one's a little bit more cool toned with like a rosier shade. I'm gonna actually use my Pat McGrath lip liner, which I absolutely love as well. I got it in the shade Suburbia, which is a little bit more of a rosier shade, but I think it'll do like a little bit of like an ombre lip maybe. So let's go ahead and do it. So now let's go in with the shade Dream Lover. Oh, this is like my go-to shade. I love a good like peachy nude. And I just love the matte finish. It's really comfortable and smooth. So pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my eyes off camera. I'm gonna just add some mascara and falsies and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back, finished up my eye look, and this is the finished look using the new Pat McGrath Divine Blush collection. I definitely recommend this collection. I think it's another hit by Pat McGrath. Keeping in mind the few things I had to say about the quad, I do think it is a beautiful quad. All of them have beautiful formulas. There's no complaints about quality here. I definitely think that if you get this, you will be impressed, and you definitely, especially those 3 lid toppers, the glitter is stunning. The 2 metallics are gorgeous. Like, it's just incredible. You can use this one as a highlight, which makes it even more worth the money. The only thing that I wish this palette had was maybe a softer transition shade, but keep in mind if it did have that, then you would lose one of the metallics. For maybe a beginner, if you don't have anything to go off of, then this might not be the one for you because it doesn't equip you with everything you're looking for. But for maybe somebody who already has some other eyeshadow palettes you can, you know, dip off of for a transition shade, this is absolutely stunning. So I do have 2 quads now by Pat McGrath, and I definitely think I like this one better. I think the metallics are brighter, the metallics are a little more unique, and I really think that it is probably my favorite. Oh, I don't know. I say this every time, so I'm just not gonna say it, but it is just absolutely beautiful. I definitely recommend this quad. Keep in mind with this one though, it does have quite a bit of fallout with those glitter shades, so make sure you just either apply it with a brush that has been wet with setting spray or do your eyes first. So that is my only kind of critique about this palette, but I still think it's worth it, and I most definitely will be playing with this some more. The lipstick, we already know about Pat McGrath. It's not a new formula, so I definitely think the formula is consistent with her other, you know, matte trance lipsticks. I really like the matte trance formula. It's one of my favorites. So good. I absolutely love that shade. It's like my go-to. I have so many shades from Pat McGrath that are like this peachy nude, and they're like probably all pretty similar, but I just love them all so much. I love this, love it. And last but not least, the blush. Every time I look at myself, I'm like, this blush is beautiful. It definitely has a similar formula to the Clinique Cheek Pop. It has that beautiful powderless look. It looks like cream blush, but it's powder. It's easy, it's blendable, it's pigmented, and it's buildable. So I have no complaints about the blush either. I'm really impressed. Ultimately, from today's first impression, I most definitely recommend everything I tested. There's really nothing about it other than that fallout that I could complain about. It's definitely a beautiful, beautiful collection, and I love it so much. Once again, another Pat McGrath success. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I encourage you to do so now. I appreciate each and every one of you that does. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.